Hey everyone, my name's Walter, and I'm back here with more Reddit content for you. Yes, finally. I'd like to let everyone know that I've started a third channel, which is where I'll be putting anything that I'm not comfortable posting here. You know, monetization and stuff. So go check that out if you want. I have one video so far. Anyway, today's subject is once again neckbeards. Neckbeards are those brilliant gentlemen who are always chivalrous. They tend to know martial arts and are generally in perfect shape. Sometimes they even wear trench coats or fedoras. Anyway, you'll see by the end of the video. Let's just begin with more neckbeards from Reddit. God, it's good to be back. And I am on new video software finally, yes. These posts are from Reddit Just Neckbeard Things. 40, male for female, Texas or anywhere, looking for a younger woman to love. I have a thing for falling in love with a younger woman, 18 plus. I like being a mentor, guide, protector, and lover all in one. I'll love you unconditionally. I'll love you with all my heart. I'll be the man you've always wanted. A father figure, a boyfriend, a husband. I'll teach you about life. I'll help you with school. I'll guide you in your career. I'll hurt anyone that tries to harm you. You'll be the first thing I think about each morning and the last thing I think about at night. I'll shower you with kisses. I'll buy you flowers for no reason. I'll cook you dinner. I'll make love to you in the way you want. I'll hold you tight all night and not let you go. Let's build a wonderful life together. Message me. I'm waiting for you. You know what I'm gonna say. I would think it was Lucas if it said Spokane. It sounds like hell, doesn't it? It's so suffocating, and then after a few years you trade her in for a new model anyway. Men should stop apologizing for their sexuality. Next time some fat chick on Twitter with pink hair tells you that you're a creep for liking young girls, Japanese schoolgirl uniforms, and giant tits, just reply, yep. Why should you be sorry for being you? Yeah, which sexuality would that be, by the way? Weeb sexual? As a dude who cares about feminism, sometimes I want to join all men arm in arm, and then run off a cliff and drag the whole gender into the sea. Ugh, these are the worst kind of men. This guy would throw anyone under a bus to try to make himself look better. How can I go about explaining to my parents what anime or manga is, and why I want a body pillow with my waifu there? Geez, things sure have gotten complicated since I was a teenager. Next week I'll ask about the Ahegao sweatshirt. I think I have given up on human girls after seeing Mami-chan. Mami-chan is the girl that smells like a flower. As I said, she's the most hottest anime girl ever to be drawn in the history of anime. On God, but she makes me not want to interact with real-life girls anymore. It seems pointless, you know? Like I found my dream girl, besides Goddess Aqua from Konosuba. But my parents just won't understand and beat me if they truly found out about my love affection for Mami-chan. Has anyone else dealt with this experience? And if so, how have you come out of the anime closet to your parents? I would think it was fake, but apparently the guy's been pretty prolific. Yes, I actually found this guy through his weird posts on the Kill la Kill sub about wanting to fuck everyone. Yeesh, that must be quite the subreddit, huh? I guess this is the character he's talking about. New to me. I'm a feminist, takes significantly less than an hour to say, and that is all one would need to hear to confirm it's time to bail. Edit, it warms my heart you dislike this so much. You go ahead and date as many feminists as you can. The more feminist and the more vocal about her feminism, the better. You go ahead, champ. Get the biggest feminist you can who is the most outspoken and marry her. Show me what a fool I am by committing your life to one of these, lol. Your punishment will require no effort from me. Suck it up, buttercup. Edit 2, remember, nothing is more offensive than the truth. Some of these guys think every feminist is a radical feminist or something. The word isn't that crazy of a thing in general. And I love how all people do is downvote and move on. He throws a tantrum, and then he tells everyone else to suck it up, buttercup. Lunacy. Alright, now we're going to read a story as usual. This story comes to us from Reddit Neckbeard Stories. And it's one of those ones that starts off slow and then suddenly veers into what the fuck territory, so let's get into it. Creepy Neckbeard writes steamy fanfic. I've been listening to Vinci and Reddix a lot recently, and hearing other Neckbeard stories prompted me to remember my own encounter with the infamous species known as Neckbeards. This is my first post as I got a Reddit in order to share my story. A few years ago, I was a freshman in college. I was nervous about making new friends and was quite naive, thinking that the friends I made my freshman year would be the ones I kept forever. Because of this idea I had, I didn't want to knock any opportunities to make a new friend. And so when I met this particular specimen, in my statistics course, I was really friendly. I came into class a bit early and it was just him sitting in the room. Let's call him Wolfie, in honor of his pastime of going out on campus and howling at the moon with his friends late at night. These stories are like therapy. If you feel cringy about going to cemeteries at night when you were in high school, you just have to tell yourself, hey, at least I wasn't howling at the moon when I was in college. I thought it would be awkward if I sat far away from him, and I decided it would be a good opportunity to meet another student, so I sat down in the seat next to him. Wolfie didn't have the average appearance of a neckbeard. He was lanky, tall, and pretty average looking. Contrary to the stereotype of neckbeards smelling like a decaying body, he actually smelled quite nice. His outfit was more on the neckbeardy side, however, with oversized cargo pants and one of those good old Wolf Howling at the Moon t-shirts. He smiled at me with a great big grin, flashing his bright white teeth. Wolfie. Hi, my name is Wolfie. What's your name? Me. Hi, Wolfie. My name is N. Wolfie. Wow, that's a great name. Are you worried about this class? Don't worry, I'm really good at statistics, so if you need any help, you could just ask me. I thought it was nice of him to offer, but despite being bad at math, statistics actually make sense to me for some reason. The funny part about this was that over the course of the semester, I would find that he was not, in fact, any good at statistics. He would constantly complain about the bad grades he was receiving. That's beside the point for the moment. I began to talk with Wolfie, and he seemed pretty nice and not weird at all. We had very different interests, as he was into gaming and witchcraft. I personally do not believe in magic, but I'm not about to put someone else's beliefs/interest down. So I would nod my head while he shared everything about himself. I guess he really liked having someone who listened to him and didn't make fun of his interests. I honestly thought it was refreshing to see someone who was just so themselves. Unfortunately, after the moment that we met, I was unable to meet any new people in class because he would insert himself into any conversation that I was having with anyone else. He would jump in to share facts about me, in some sort of display of dominance, I guess. I would be talking about a random topic like the cafeteria food with someone else, and he would jump in and say, "Hey, did you know that N plays D&D? This is actually false. He once asked if I played, and I said no, but my brother does, so I have heard a fair amount of stories about it." But for some reason he took this answer to think that I played D&D, and therefore thought I was the coolest girl out there. As the semester went on, he went on to share his whole life story to me, and I just sat there patiently, listening. I should have made more of an effort to make other friends in the class, but oh well. A bit about me. I absolutely love editing people's papers. I have become the person all of my friends come to for editing advice. I love seeing the page all marked up. The worse the original paper, the better. I must have told Wolfie about this at some point, because one day he came to class and asked me to edit an expression paper, whatever the hell that means. Being excited to get to edit a paper, I said yes. He handed me a relatively large stack of pages stapled together. I slipped it into my backpack, unaware of the absolute horror I would find within later. So what exactly is an expression paper, you might be asking? Apparently, it is a horribly long fanfiction of you and the girl you sit next to in class. Yes, he wrote a whole fanfiction about a character, also named Wolfie, who is in love with this girl from his statistics class, and you guessed it, the girl happened to have my name as well. It was sexually explicit, with his character watching my character after class every day until he wins her heart and they have a steamy sexual encounter, and then quite a few more encounters. You know, I thought his introduction complimenting her name reminded me of Loving Too Much Iowa, and now he's writing her into stories like him? This has got to be the actual worst way to try to hit on someone. Oh, how much I wish I kept those papers to share with all of you now. It was just too crazy. I was quite shocked and grossed out by this story. Unfortunately, I didn't know what to do, so I did the only thing I could think of and edited the story and handed it back to him. I didn't want to deal with the situation, and thought that if I didn't edit the story, he would confront me about it. I don't really know how to deal with conflict, so instead I hoped that if I never brought it up, he would forget about it. Unfortunately, he took my lack of response to the material as an invitation. Honestly, I think a normal person would realize they weirded you out if you clammed up about it. Then again, a normal person probably wouldn't have written it in the first place, right? As I mentioned before, Wolfie had very bad grades. He would constantly grumble about how the statistics I learned must have been higher level statistics and this basic stuff was just messing me up. At this point I was getting fed up with him, but he was my only friend in the class, so I had to listen to him. The week before our midterm, he asked me if I could help him study. I don't study well with other people, so I knew the study session would be mainly for his benefit, but I felt bad for him since he was doing so poorly in class. Reluctantly, I agreed to meet him in the cafeteria when I was done with classes for the day. When I got to the table he was sitting at, I already had a bad feeling about what was to occur. Ignoring my gut, I sat down with him and began to help him. We spent 2 hours going through the material, with him growling when he messed up and didn't understand a concept. I was a little embarrassed to be sitting with someone who was growling in the middle of the cafeteria, but I didn't know what to do. I'm a bit of a pushover when it comes to saying no to things. Hey, well at least he wasn't howling. I hope. Honestly, kinda surprised she's still willing to be alone with him after the fanfic. After the 2 hours, it was already dark and I was hungry, so I told him I was going to get food. I thought he would take the sign and leave, but he came with me to get dinner. Since my tactic didn't work, I ordered my food to go and said I was going back to my room. He got his food to go too. When we walked out of the cafeteria and past his dorm without him going inside, I realized he thought he was going to come into my dorm room. I did not like the idea of him in there, as I was creeped out by him after the whole fanfic incident. I decided to sit down in the grass quad on campus to avoid having him in my room. Oh, how I wished we had gone to my room instead. At least my roommate would have been there too then. I began to scarf down my food in order to get out of the situation as soon as possible. Wolfie, wow, you're hungry. Me, yep. Wolfie, you're hungry for some meat, I didn't know how to respond to that creepy-ass attempt at a pickup line, so I just continued to shovel food into my mouth. Wolfie smiled and put his arm around my shoulders. I immediately froze, panicking at the situation. We were in the middle of the quad on campus, so I thought it would have been safe, but it was dark and there was no one walking around. I immediately realized what a bad idea this was. I just stared back at him, dumbstruck at my situation. Before I knew what was happening, he was groping my breast. It took me a few seconds for my reflexes to kick in, but I finally jumped up and I just shouted, "What the fuck?" Wolfie, it's okay, I know you are new to this, but I know you like me. It's okay, just sit back down, I'll make you feel good. Holy shit, he's so creepy. This guy would fit right in on To Catch a Predator. This terrified me, so I just sprinted to my dorm, leaving my food in the grass. It took me a little while to process what happened, but let's just say I was not excited to have to see him in class. The next day we had class, I unfortunately came late and the only seat was next to him. I sat down, making a point of not making eye contact. I was so uncomfortable sitting next to him, but there was no other choice. He attempted to talk to me, but I just ignored it. For the next couple of weeks he tried to catch me after class and explain, or convince me, or whatever the hell he wanted, but I would just bolt out, not listening to a word. He eventually took the hint and stopped trying to talk to me. I'm sorry that this was so long and a bit anticlimactic. Thanks to all who got to the end of the story. I know it's not as crazy as some other Neckbeard stories, but I just wanted to share my own encounter with you all. Yeah, that was pretty good. Kinda wish the author would let us know she's gotten a bit better at asserting herself because of the situation. I hate to see anyone being pushed around by someone like this. Let's remember that this is college where he wrote his erotic fanfiction of someone he wasn't really that close to. I can't diminish it by saying it was high school or anything. But yeah, just what that guy said there was so goddamn creepy. Yeesh. Alright, that is about all the time I have for you today, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for waiting all this time for new content. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say, please make sure to let me hear it in the comments. If you're new here and enjoyed the content, consider subscribing for more of the same. Oh yeah, let me know if any of the messing around with my format has been annoying or anything like that. I think after a bit of practice, this is going to be a lot better. So, it's my 34th birthday a week from today. I'll have to stream or something. I'm not done making videos yet this week though. But now it's finally time to thank my generous patrons who have been there for me through everything, even the year 2020. Thank you. Jimmo, Lavon, Chris Sturman, Invader Jill, Daisy Franco, Brendan Rexford, Kitty Sparkles, who is new I believe. Welcome. Dr. A, Ouroboros, Daniel Delapena, Deborah Douglas, Maxo11X, Horatio T, Justin Godsey, MDB 3000, V stands for, Elvis Needs Boats Bennett, Cho, Spoonie the Rogue, Hunter Malcolm, Amanda Gillies, Jacob K, Camper Supreme, Staples Yeet, Knit1 Code 2, Roy, Lil Spoon, Petulant Panda, Shit for Brains, Ms. Mayhem, Jubes, Regrettable Stitches, and Desperova. Thanks once again, let's make 2021 an even more successful year. Anyway, have a great night everyone, and make sure to howl at the moon if you see it.